Hello everyone, welcome to Lighthouse Stamping with Lorraine. I hope your day is going well. We are going to be making another fall card. As we said, in the month of September I'm going to be into fall, but let's take care of a few housekeeping notes. First, perfect partners, and I've talked about this every last few days, so I won't go into detail, but perfect partners is still going on until September 30th or while supplies last. There is 6 new dies to go with previously existing stamp sets. And you can find more information about these 6 dies on in my online store, I should say. The link for the online store is below, along with my email address, the description of everything we're going to be making, and all the dimensions. Also remember to like and subscribe. Subscribe, please, as I'm trying to grow this YouTube channel. And also on Thursdays, every Thursday this month, Stampin' Up! Is running specials for a week long, so they're Thursday through Wednesday. So if you go to my online store, you can find out what those weekly specials are, and discounted product from both the mini and the annual catalog. So I think that's all the housekeeping notes. So on to what we're going to be using. The paper we're using today is from Celebrate Everything. I just wanted to give you a brief look at this. I'm not going to go through the whole packet, but as you can see, we have Halloween, and there is fall, and we're actually using this paper right here today. And there's fireworks and plaids, and stripes, and candy, and there is just everything: Christmas trees, Christmas baubles, stars, and more Halloween stuff. So there's a lot of paper in this. This is a mega pack. It is a host gift in the mini catalog. So you can earn this by having a $150 party or purchasing $150 on your own. And so if you have questions about how to go about doing that, you can send me an email and I will get back to you. I would love to help you. If you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, please consider using me. Thank you. So, what we're making today, we're still doing fall, but you know, even though it is fall, people still have birthdays, and so we need a birthday card for fall. And so I made and designed this card. This is called a waterfall wreath, or not a waterfall, sorry, a fall wreath column fold card. This could be for a man or a woman. It stands up like this. It collapses like this to fit into a standard envelope. And there's room to write on the back. Now we're not going to make the next one exactly like this one. You know, I like to change things, colors and stuff. So we will be making this. So I will set this aside and then we will proceed with what we're using. We are using the Cottage wreath set. We're going to be using this branch. We're using the acorn, the leaves. We're also using the hello, and we're using the dies for this. I have die cut a lot of this, and I'll explain each product how I made, or each item how I made each of the pieces so that you understand how they were made. I didn't think you needed to watch me stamp and cut out all the tiny little leaves that I used in this. This didn't take long to do, but you know, your time is valuable and so is mine, so we didn't go through that. We're also using Artistically inked. We are going to be using Happy Birthday and Best Wishes from Artistically Inked today. So those are the 2 stamp sets we're using. We're also using a set of dies. We are using the layered circle dies. We're using this small one right here, not very big. And it's going to be for one of our labels. So let's move on. This is the envelope I made for the card, by the way. So we're going to move on. We're first going to get all the pieces out here. Well, most of the pieces. There's our envelope. These are the cards that cardstock we're going to make the pieces, and I have pre-cut out the DSP, and I'll go over that in a minute. This one I've actually flagged with a number because this is actually part of the card. We're going to stamp on it and then we'll be adding to it. And these are 2 pieces of scrap to stamp on. So we're going to get the stamping done first. So let me grab all of, well, let's grab, I've got both photopolymer and rubber out here. So I'm going to do this in, we'll do the rubber first, I think, and then we'll do the photopolymer. So for the rubber, oh, please tell me. You're going to have to forgive me. I did not cut the back of this card. So we have to cut a piece of paper real fast. I'm terribly sorry. Sorry about that. I spaced off one piece of the card. So the white piece for the back is 4 by 5 1/4. I don't know why I forgot that, but I did. There we go. Resolve that problem. And this card, we're looking at landscape. And we're going to use Happy Birthday. And this is not the one I originally used on the other one. I used a different Happy Birthday, but I wanted to change it. And we're going to use Shaded Spruce. The colors in this are Shaded Spruce, Crushed Curry, Poppy Parade, and Early Espresso, and a little bit of Soft Suede. So first I'm going to stamp my Happy Birthday. Make sure I don't have any shadowing there. And I'm going to stamp it right in the middle of the paper, like that. And that should be it for that ink for now. And then we're going to use, boy, I was not very organized today. I forgot to grab the stamp for the leaves. So we'll get that out. But anyhow, the Poppy Parade, we also need to stamp Best Wishes. And we're going to die cut this. So we'll set that aside. Next, we'll come back to those 2 colors in a moment. We also need to, so I need to stamp this piece before I stamp the hello. So I'm going to grab my stamping pierce mat and get out the Early Espresso. And we'll place this right in the middle of our piece of paper that we had pre-measured. Just like that. We'll set that aside. And then we're going to grab a scrap and stamp this one more time. So that's the end of this color. We'll set him aside to die cut him. We're going to grab this one back so we can grab the hello. And we'll place that right in the middle of this. Oh dear. That's why there's 2 sides to a piece of paper. I did a very poor job on that. Let me clean this off and try again. I'm sure it's good and dry. All right, back in the Poppy Parade, gently, and into the center, like that. Mistakes happen. So now we need also on our envelope, we're going to put a pretty red bow. Like this. The bow that stamps is quite beautiful, but we're not using that bow on the card, but we will be using it other places. So let's see, next is the leaves. So I'm going to pull the bow off its stamp and grab my leaves and get rid of the espresso before I get it all over. Now we're going to just make like a pattern of leaves falling down. Oh, we'll make one more branch up. Hey, pretty good. We'll clean that so we can put some crushed curry leaves in. You notice I'm stamping right over the green. It doesn't matter. So that's our leaves falling. And that should be the end of the stamping. Like I said, I did stamp all of the little pieces we're going to be using earlier. So we'll set that aside and we'll get a little cranky out here. So we can cut our few pieces. This is the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Now grab the correct one we're going to cut, not the one on the small square. This is plate 1, plate 2, and this, and then we'll grab the die. Now, the die on this, I got to find my pieces here. There's one that goes this way, and then there's 2 sharp ones that go this way, and you have to take and fiddle around just a little bit, but you can see them where they're at. There's one there, and this one's right here, and then you can see the other branches in between. And that's exactly where I want to cut that. Like that. It doesn't take, after you've done one, you figure out what pieces work for you for lining up. And I've got my plates too. If I said in the past, if you don't have your plates staggered, the machine won't take the plates. It's just too much bulk. And I'm going to just pull that. And there's the one we just cut out. That part's still good. Throw it back in the scrap pile. Next we're going to cut out is the Best Wishes. And I'm just using the little oval, little circle. Wish I had a little oval die, but I don't. And we'll cut him out. Boy, I want to straighten everything up today, don't I? And there's our Best Wishes. There's still some use left in that one as well. And we'll do with him. Okay, to the card base. We have 2 pieces of paper here. I'll get my dimensions so I make sure I tell you correctly. This is 9.5 by 4 1/4. And this piece is 4 3/4 by 3 1/4. So we're going to get our scoring board, or you can do this on your trimmer if you choose. And In the larger piece, very simple scoring. We're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. And on the smaller piece, the 4 3/4 side, we are going to score this one at 3 1/4 and 4 1/4. And that's it for scoring. Excuse me while I get a small drink here. And then we are going to burnish all of our score lines. This is Poppy Parade, by the way, if I didn't say that. Okay. Now, I do like to put my DSP on before I put my box together. Now, part of it's going to get put on because this large piece, which is 4 1/4 by 4, we want to put that on last. But we are going to put the small pieces on. This piece here is, this is 3 by 3, and this is 3/4 by 3. And then I have 3 pieces that are 3/4 by 4. Now, when you're putting this on here, this is going to fold up like this. So when you flip it over, you're working this direction. So this one you're going to leave blank, and you're going to put these on these 3 pieces. Use your adhesive. This paper is also out of the same packet. So you hear the bell, the chime is ringing. It's starting to get windy again. Last night it was howling and the chimes would not quit. I like the chimes though. So that's that part. Let's go ahead and glue these pieces on. This one comes together really quite easily. Okay, so this is going to roll this way, and this is going to go like this. So if you fold it in this direction here, and I'm going to use tear and tape. You could use whatever you wanted. I just find doing this particular part is easier with tear and tape. You can use glue. I'm going to use 2 pieces here. Then what you do is you've got those 2 pieces like this. So you can see you got like that. Just take this and fold it over right on top. Give it a nice rub. And open it up, and there's your column. Now this piece goes on equally as easy. You're going to be putting this on, and you want to try to even this up. It's about a 1/2 inch from the top and the bottom on each side, and about halfway across. Now you can use glue or you can use tear and tape. I'm going to go ahead and use glue on this section here. And put this one down. And this does require you to hold this for a minute because you're up in the air. So get it where you want it. Just stick your fingers in the hole here for a second and hold this for just a minute so it doesn't come apart when you're trying to hook the other piece on. Okay, so this is going to sit like this. So, see how we're folding it this way? When I fold it this way, it's going to be in the exact correct spot. So you can use glue or tear tape. I'm going to go ahead and use glue on this piece. And what you want to do is you want to fold this in while it's up. Set this down where you think it's supposed to be. And just, oh, stop. I forgot something. I forgot to put the other piece of DSP on. Let's put that back up in the air here. Sorry. This piece is by 4 1/4 by 4. So the 4 inches this way and the 4 1/4 is this way. It's like that. And I forgot to put this in. Almost caught myself. The reason I didn't put this in before is I want to make sure that it is lined up with this box and gives me proper spacing. Okay, now we'll put a little more glue back on this. Fold it back down like that. Just hover where it's, you think, close to where it's supposed to be. And if you just press it down, it will go right where it's supposed to be because it folds that way. And then you lift this up, and there's your card. Sorry about that. I will put this down first, or you don't have the paper. If you did mess it up and didn't do it, you could cut one piece this size and stick it in through the inside, which probably look very nice too. But I didn't do it that way. Now, we're going to go ahead and we're going to glue the best wishes down on the front. I'm not putting this up on dimensionals because it's sitting right here, and this is going to come down on top of it. And you're going to, if you see, already have some bulk, and we're going to have more bulk here, so I didn't want it underneath of it anymore. So now we're going to go ahead and stick the back on, because once we start building this section, it's clumsy to put the back on. So we'll put the back on now. Make sure you're going the right direction. Just like that. Okay, now we've got to build our scene that goes on the card. So we've already done the hello, and this is going to get layered up here like that. And then I have made, well, there they are. I have die cut out and stamped leaves. A lot of leaves, probably more than we need. But we'll start with that. I've also die cut 2 of the bows here with the die, and this is the die version of the bow. There's a die to cut this one out as well, but then there's this die that cuts these out, which I really liked. So we'll be using these 2, and they'll go together like that. Matter of fact, while I've got them in my hand, we might as well put them together. I'm just going to put a little glue just across there. And I'm off centering these just slightly. Oh, one side's a little higher than the other. There we go. And I have a little glue sticking out, but that's okay. It will be fine. So we just off-center that slightly. Get a little yellow on the other side of it. Now, I'm going to tell you, you are going to get gluey, technical word there, gluey, doing this because they're small. So I've stamped out crushed curry, poppy parade, and some green. I've also made, there's a little acorn stashes. Little, I'll get that up there so you can see it. Little tiny acorn. So I ran it through and put crumb cake on it. And then I took my soft suede. I tried using early espresso. It was way too dark. Soft suede, and just put a little soft suede on the top and stamped it. And then I die cut those out. So, like I said, I didn't think you wanted to sit and watch me do all the little pieces. Putting them on will be enough. And guess what I found? I found my mini dimensionals. Haven't found the black ones yet, but we found the minis. Told you I would eventually. So, you want to sort of just, you want to set this in such a fashion. So that's the way it normally, you want to set it so it's offset. It doesn't, you don't want it to line up. So you want to be able to see some of the branches from behind. So we're going to put a few mini dimensionals on this. And I'm putting quite a few because we're going to have leaves stuck on it and acorns. I think that will do. And now if you don't have minis, you can always cut up some other dimensionals too. And I want to make sure that I'm sort of going off and not quite on, and I have branches sticking out. And if it comes off the top a little bit, that's fine. Okay. So now we're going to build our leaves. But I'm going to go ahead and do this one first. I wanted to put an acorn. Like I said, I need my take your pick tool now. Ooh. And I want to put a little dot. I'm going to do little dots, and I want to put 2 leaves and an acorn. This is where the take your pick tool comes in, very handy. I want to put a yellow leaf there. Oop, I need to turn it a little bit. And I think we'll put a green one right over here. Like that. Now we're going to build this one. Now you want to put leaves. I'm flipping them over so I can pick them up easier. And I can see what color they are. They're all the same. There's 3 different shapes of leaves in here. Oh, acorn. I think that's enough to get started. Get some acorns over here. So we'll put the acorns on last. And a little sorting before we get started here. Okay, so the ones that go underneath, it's easier just to pick one up. Like I said, pick one up and put just a dab of glue on the back. This is why I'm saying sometimes it works. Just a dab of glue, and if you and you just want to shove it inside underneath. So I'm going to do some on the underneath side first. My glue is just lifting it off. You don't need a lot, but just enough to give it some dimension when you... Oh, well, that one's going to fall. We'll let it fall. It's fine. Now this one I know is going to go right here, so I can stick it down right in there. Just different, you have to do different ways to get them in here. yellow one over here. And like I said, you don't need much glue. And a red one. I know it's going to fall off, but it allows me to pick it up easier. And a green one. And I think I need one more red one down here. Like that. So just get a few around the outside on the underneath section. And then we're going to start picking up. And now you could put the glue right, put a few drops in where you want them. I'm not doing too many at the bottom here because we're going to put a big old bow on it. And I'm putting the leaves going all different directions. Trying to make sure I don't get them, you know, too many of one color on one side. Oh, don't want to do a green one there. A green below, I don't want to do a green above it. And red one right there. Make sure everybody's sticking, like that one's not. Like I said, it's wet, so it takes a minute for it to dry. Now let's go ahead and stick our bow in, because it'll give us some definition. And the bow can hang over. We'll just put some glue right here on the bottom of the bow. Like I said, this is the type of project, like I said, with lots of glue. I'll sprinkle and hit it with a little bit of powder to make sure there's no stickiness before I put it in the envelope. So that looks pretty good. So let's get on some acorns now. You see why I put a few dimensionals underneath of this, because you're going to be pressing on it. I'm going to put about 5 acorns on it. Like that. And we'll save those for something else. And so that's that part. And then this is going to get mounted right here, and we're gluing it on because we already have quite a bit of dimension. Make sure nobody's thought I felt something fall in my hand. But I don't think so. So if you fold that down, then you can line that up right in the center. Give it a nice press. Like I said, keep in mind, your glue is not dried yet. It takes a few minutes. So, and that is our fall birthday card. I'm not putting bling on this. This card could be for a man or woman, so it stands up like that. I think it's rather sweet. You got your, and you can write right across this, so there's no problem writing. So I hope you try this card. I like it. This is the yellow one. There's the red one. I don't know which one I really like better. I think I like the red. Yellow's nice. But like I said, it's for male or female. There's still birthdays, and I used Celebrating You in this one instead. I used the other one. This is for male or female. There's birthdays in the fall too, so we should celebrate them as well. So have a wonderful day, and thank you for joining. Don't forget to subscribe, and I hope to see you next time. Thank you.